Well, good morning, Lionhearts. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said well. Today, we are gonna have a fun day. I mean, we're gonna go do something historical, but we wanna take Ja out to the park, have some fun. I brought you by this house once before. When COVID broke out, they went to extreme lengths to make this a really fun environment to walk past. And I had a feeling that they probably would have updated it in the 2 months since I've been here, so I wanted to come by and check it out. So here we are. Also, you probably noticed I'm wearing a different pair of sunglasses. Today is a special Patreon sunglass vlog for Kelly Bearzin. Kelly, today we're gonna go to the final resting place of one of the biggest producers in television history, a man who took pride in making a great story, a perfect experience when you watched his work, Aaron Spelling. And we're also gonna talk about the surprising thing he did with his estate when he passed. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. I love how far they went into the detail in this just to kind of make passerbys happy. Isn't that great? And that's all paint. That's not chalk or anything. Little piglet. Sometimes our strengths lie beneath the surface. What a great theme, huh? Look at this turtle doing the backstroke. Alright, like I said, time for the dog park. He's here. His buddies, there's about 8 or 9 dogs out here. So Aaron Spelling is interred at Hillside Memorial Park, which is also where my friend Shelley Winter's buried. It's a Jewish cemetery. A lot of famous people are buried there. In fact, when you first drive in, what is that? We've had so much helicopter activity. I feel like I'm in an episode of Cops lately. So Mo Howard's buried there, Milton Berle, Nell Carter, but as soon as you drive right in, there's this great, fantastic fountain, and that is the grave of Al Jolson, and Shelley is actually buried just to the right of Al Jolson. But like I said, today we are going to go visit Aaron Spelling. I accidentally stumbled upon where he is when I went to do a vlog on Michael Landon. So when we go in there, I'll point out how you get to Michael Landon and how you actually will get to Aaron Spelling if you go to visit people while you're in the area. Because visiting graves seems to be a very popular thing for tourists to do, and I love to do it too. And now I have my own Daze with Jordan the Lion guitar picks, and since I usually leave guitar picks at grave sites when I go, I'm gonna leave Shelley some of my guitar picks today while we're there. I don't think leaving any guitar picks from me at Aaron Spelling's grave will do much for Aaron. Who knows? And Kelly, your particular sunglasses, as you can see, are breast cancer awareness sunglasses, because I thought it was really appropriate. Aaron Spelling was a huge proponent of bringing these kind of issues, social issues, into his programming. So I thought, you know, it's probably the most appropriate pair we could wear today. Alright, I dropped off Ja. It's pretty hazy and smoky out, so we'll go do this without him. Off to Culver City. There's the Culver City sign, kind of covered up by the tree. There it is. I always love to show this whenever I come here, because to me this is just such a beautiful fountain. It's the Al Jolson Memorial, like I told you. I've shown it quite a few times, but just a beautiful centerpiece to this cemetery. We're actually heading to that mausoleum right up there behind. Now you can technically take the very easy way in right through this door I'll show you, but that's not how I found it, so I wanted to show you how I found it. You can go through that door right here in the back, or enter through the front like I like to. Here you can see we're on the back side of the Jolson Memorial. This is the entrance. I'll quickly show you the Jolson statue since it's right over here. You can see he's right over here. Shelley always loved the song Mammy that he did. Her father used to sing that to her. So she had her parents and herself entombed here. And here's his final resting place. And up here it says, "The Sweet Singer of Israel." We'll head on in. Mark Goodson, the television producer, is right here. Then we're gonna go in and make a left. Then once you get to the end of the hall, turn and he is right here. That's the doorway we were looking at. Pretty amazing life. He's went down in history as the most prolific producer of all time. He's had his name attached to more things than anyone else. Almost 300 projects. Pretty amazing. He's had his name attached to production companies with Danny Thomas. He sold his first script to Jane Wyman. And this is pretty amazing from a person who is the son of Russian Jewish immigrants. His original family name was Sperling, not Spelling. They changed it once they came to Dallas, where he was raised. Now, an interesting piece of trivia about him is that for a year of his life, he was bullied so harshly that he ended up going into a psychosomatic paralysis and was confined to a bed for a year. Hard to imagine that someone that had an early life like that could go on to do as much as he did. Now, in his early life, he ended up attending the U.S. Army Air Corps and was a pilot during World War II. And then when he came out, he went to Southern Methodist University and was a cheerleader. Now, Aaron Spelling actually started out as an actor first. He was in various things early on in his career, including several episodes of Dragnet and even Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but he always wanted to be more of a writer. And he said that to become a producer, back then you always had to start as a writer. And he thought that was a good thing because it made you appreciate and honor a story, which is what his whole career was based on. He was almost a perfectionist when it came to that. He believed that every single part of the production had to be thought out, well done, and it had to start with the script, had to be a perfect, well-written script with meaning. Then you had to find good actors that embodied these characters. You had to find good guest stars, good set people, good costumers. Just to him, everything mattered. And he said never on one of his productions when he's on the set will something not get filmed. Never will they have to go back and reshoot a scene because they didn't get it right or whatever. He said when he does a project, he would see it as a story in his mind before he ever filmed it, so that he was making sure every bit of the story, that you weren't going from one scene to another without introducing where this new scene was taking place. He was a real stickler for that, and he didn't shy away from adding social issues. And for a guy who was producing things from the mid-60s until 2000s. It's amazing that his sensibility stayed in touch. A lot of times, you know, you can see people that don't change with the times or they don't grow with the times, and he never had a problem with that. He had hits going back from being connected to the Mod Squad, to Family, to Dynasty, Heart to Heart, of course Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place. Had a huge career, and he was easily one of the most well-respected people in this business. People, actors love to work with him, writers love to write for him because he didn't put the boundaries on writers. In fact, he could recount through most of his life in interviews his favorite lines from shows or from different scenes, because he said when you hire a good writer, they feel what they're writing, and he said if they feel it that much, when I hear it, he said, it is embedded in my mind because I wish I would have written things like that. Aaron Spelling went down in history as the most prolific producer in television. He had 218 television productions, not counting all the movies that he did. He did Soap Dish, if you remember that movie, as well as, of course, all the Charlie's Angels television shows, and unbelievable how many things he was attached to. Now, Aaron Spelling at one time was married to Carolyn Jones, who played Morticia Addams in The Addams Family, and also was in The House of Wax with Vincent Price, but he was married to his second wife, Candy Jean, and they had 2 children, Tori and Randy. Now, it's kind of interesting what happened with his estate after he passed away. Now, in the early 2000s, Aaron Spelling was diagnosed with oral cancer, but in 2006, apparently he was suffering from Alzheimer's disease, and for 5 days had been battling or trying to stay alive after suffering a stroke when he unfortunately passed away. So here's what's kind of weird, is that when Aaron Spelling in 1988, he purchased Bing Crosby's old estate, tore it down, and built a 123-room mansion that was called the Manor. And he and his family lived there. It's considered the largest Los Angeles single-family home. And he entertained all of the people on his shows, many Hollywood types. His children would both tell stories about having a very happy childhood there, growing up there, meeting famous people. And then Aaron, when he passed, his estate was valued at $500,000. The house alone, his wife put on the market for $150 million. It ended up selling for $85 million. But for a man who wrote so much about family and made so much television centered around the family, with all that money that was left in his estate, he left both Tori and Randy, his children, less than $1 million. Now, that is still a generous sum of money, but it's just kind of surprising that you would maybe want to teach a lesson or send some sort of message like that with such a vast estate. But I've seen where his son has said, you know, it just taught me how to live a much different life. But he never really understood why that was done in the will. Now, when Aaron Spelling died, his favorite project at the time, or his baby at the time, was Seventh Heaven. And he would talk about it quite in depth in a lot of interviews, how much he loved working and producing that show. And when they did their series finale, they dedicated it to him. And it actually went down as Aaron Spelling's longest running series and longest running family drama in American television history. Some of Aaron Spelling's most notable works were Melrose Place, Charmed, Family, Charlie's Angels, Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, Dynasty, Beverly Hills 90210, and The Mod Squad, and a veteran. And it does look like his wife will be buried next to him. But definitely not a family plot big enough for Tori or Randy and their families. Rest your sunglasses there for a moment. Now we'll go out these doors and we'll go back around front and we'll say hi to Shelley. No matter how often I come here, I can never find her headstones right away. But I know it's over here. Okay, found her. There she is. Good to see you, Shelley. What a wacky world it has become. Yep. We gotta wear a mask everywhere you go. At least out here in Los Angeles. You'll get a kick out of my mask though. Look at it. It's the gates of Graceland. Guess what, Shelley? I got guitar picks. You were actually one of the first people when we were working on the Orange Sash and the President of the Galaxy album that I was playing the demos for, so you were always a supporter of my music, so I wanted to show you the guitar picks that I had made. See, one's me and Jaw, and one's kind of like the TCB. So I'm gonna leave these for you. Thought you'd get a kick out of it. Don't worry, Shelley, I'm never letting your memory be forgotten. Anytime I can think of a story anywhere I go that relates to you, I always tell it. You would have loved that. Never one to shy away from the attention, were you? There are many, many, many famous people buried here. Just showed you a few today. Alright, my friends, we're gonna call it a night. I want to thank Bobby Lee Lansdale and Emily Gardner for becoming my newest Patreons. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.